Hi guys, Akiba here from CryptoSlate. Today with me I've got Diego, the co-founder of Over. I'm going to bring you in now, Diego. How are you doing?
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm great.
Good. We were just sort of chatting offline just then, saying there's a lot of travel recently. It's a busy time for you in this bear market?
Absolutely. I mean, I would call it the build market, actually, because there's a lot of stuff to do. But yes, lately we've been to many conferences, and it feels good to be back at the office, actually.
I was talking to, I think it was Lucas from Gnosis Safe, and his analysis was during bear markets, it allows you to separate the signal from the noise to really know what you need to be building. Is that something you agree with?
No, absolutely. The point is that during the bull market, you're really pushed to deliver, go out with news, and make some noise also, because it's the time where the noise will be heard in some way. While basically in the bear market, all of this activity doesn't have the same effect, so you can actually really concentrate on the building side. So yes, I mean, it's painful for everybody, but also, I mean, if you're a project that was lucky enough to run the wave of the bull market, I mean, the bear market doesn't feel too bad. Of course, it would be very bad if you need to launch something now. But if you already launched, and I mean, you have the chance to actually build what you basically imagine to build without having too much pressure from outside, it's actually a great moment.
So talking about building, you're the co-founder of Over. So for anyone that's not familiar with the platform, do you want to give us a brief overview of what it is and what it does?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're building at Over the Reality, actually, the full name of the platform, is an augmented reality metaverse. And so our idea is really to augment the physical world with augmented reality experiences, or mixed reality experiences, they call it sometimes, that are actually localized in spaces. So the way we do it is by tokenizing physical space. So many times I do the comparison with the web. So in the web, you buy a web domain and you publish content on the 2D web page. In our case, actually, you don't buy a web domain, but you buy a spatial domain. So you buy geographic coordinates. For example, you can buy the coordinates of the Colosseum. And once you have these coordinates, you can actually publish content in the real world. So the content will be actually displayed in that location. And you will be able to see it through smartphones right now and through smart glasses once they are out there. So basically, we divided the world in hexagons of 300 square meters. Those are our spatial domains that we call OVR land. And up to now, we sold 850,000 of those. And we have experiences that have been published. So people actually publish content in 20,000 of those lands. So around the world, you can go in 20,000 places where basically people published AR content, so edited this physical world. And so this is the base layer. Then we have other two layers. One is a mapping layer, and the final is a builder, so the software used to publish. So just a small focus on the middle layer, so this mapping layer. So when you want to do an augmented reality metaverse, like we do, you have a problem. And the problem is that you need a system to locate assets in space. You need to understand where you are in space. And the easy way to do that is using GPS. But the problem is with GPS that it works quite nicely outdoor, 2 to 6 meters precision, but indoor, where unfortunately we spend most of our life, that doesn't work. So we built a system that we call Map to Earn, where people can go around the world taking pictures of a location. And once we have these pictures, we can actually locate you in space very precisely with 20 centimeters accuracy, both indoor and outdoor. So this is the gate. This is the gate to this augmented reality metaverse. And nobody actually can build an augmented reality metaverse without this technology. In fact, Google is working on that. Microsoft is working on that. Niantic is working on that. We want to build the Web3 version of these gates to the metaverse. And finally, finally, to close it, I mean, the third layer I was mentioning is a builder, so a software that people can use to publish content. We have two kinds of builders. One is a web builder, just drag and drop 3D files or NFTs that you own, also from other metaverses. And also we have a Unity SDK, so if you can code in Unity, you can actually also publish complex stuff. So you can publish even games, you create interactions, whatever basically you can build with Unity. That's it in a nutshell.
That sounds really interesting. So you're using, oh God, sorry. The 3 words for GPS, is that the same as, there's a company that sort of pioneered that. Are you tying into their API, or is this your own kind of way of mapping it?
Yeah, no, we was inspired by them, but basically we built our own deterministic algorithm that basically takes the first 10,000 words in English by usage, and basically combine those to basically name each one of the potential 1.6 trillions of hexagons that are out there. So instead of referring to an hexagon with like a blob of numbers and words and letters, you have 3 English words that are easier to refer to.
Yeah, a bit more sort of canonical. I'm looking like, somewhere in Piccadilly, which is the town centre of Manchester. You've got like Mixer Passport C is the place, which is definitely a lot easier than the GPS, so that will be like 20 different numbers in a line, which is quite hard to understand. So I'm having a look here through of some of the areas, like say Piccadilly Gardens in Manchester, which is one of the sort of the centre points of the city centre. That's all entirely been bought out going up towards the train station. So is there any way for me to know from looking at this what might be there when I go, or would I have to explore to see if someone's built on the space?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the Lens, we have 2 kind of experiences. One is a local experience and one is a remote experience. So basically the idea is that when you are in the location, of course, you can have the AR experiences contextualized over there, but the owner of the land can also decide to upload a remote experience. So basically you can have a taste, you can have an idea of what is out there, even staying at home. So of course will not be the same, because the AR experience probably is customized for the location, but still you can actually have the experience without going there. And in the map, if you're looking at the website or on the mobile phone, you will see that some of the lands are written live. So on that lens, basically, is the location where the content is published. Okay.
So I need to find, so the orange lands are just ones that have been purchased, but I need to find
exactly
one. So what color would be one that's got content on it?
I think it's red.
Right, okay. Cool. Well, I will have a look around Manchester for some content. Oh, there's one. Okay. Cool. So it says live. I need to connect. I haven't connected my wallet and stuff, so I guess I need to do that first. So I'll have a play with that later. So it's similar to, so you're aware of the project Next Earth?
Oh yes, of course. Yes.
So that's got like similarities in that you're buying sort of pixels related to the planet. You're using sort of hexagons and you're adding augmented reality. There's not as much, but they've got sort of building. What sort of the main differences? And do you think there's room for 2 sort of blockchain-based mapping of the planet projects?
Yeah, so regarding that project specifically, I'm not super expert on the fact that I'm not super sure about what are their roadmap. I'm not sure they're really building AI right now, but anyway.
No, I don't think I've seen much on AI now.
Yeah, I think that they are more focused on the VR side, but I could be wrong. Anyway, coming back to your question, I mean, we believe that there can be actually multiple of metaverses. And we believe that the future is in multiple metaverses. And when we think about us, for example, at a very high level, we see us as a way to connect 3D assets to space. So it's a kind of Wikipedia where basically you describe locations, but this kind of Wikipedia data is not text. Is 3D data that is actually connected to a location. So many other people can build kind of reference systems like that. And we believe that in the future, you basically will have the choice on what content to actually see when you are in the location. But you just need a kind of, say, decentralized database to actually access to this data. So there can be multiple companies that basically built a system to locate assets in space. I would say that our peculiarity, I think, unique value proposition, at least for the moment in the Web3 space, is this precise localization system. Because this precise localization system, this map to Earth that I was mentioning you, it's quite complex to pull it out, both technically, but also in terms of doing that. Because, of course, there is a technical problem of building the AI algorithms to actually locate in space from cameras. And that, many people maybe can do it, but it's still complex. But then you need actually to have a community that does the job of actually mapping these locations. Yeah. And that is much more difficult to do. So I would say that our unique selling propositions compared to other metaverses in this moment is really this strong focus on actually enabling this precise localization, both outdoor and indoor. But yes, having said that, I believe that there is not really an exclusivity over there. So there definitely can be other metaverses that go in the same direction. And I see a future where basically with our smart glasses, we'll be able to choose what kind of experience to have when we are in a location.
You say your smart glasses, so are you developing some hardware?
No. We are totally hardware agnostic. So we just build basically the data layer. And basically right now we are on mobile phones, but as soon as there is some smart glasses out there that are widespread, we will be over that device. So for example, right now, we have a proof of concept of Magic on Magic Leap. That is an amazing device. The problem is that the price point is $2,000 and basically nobody has it. So it doesn't really make sense to push that much on that direction. But
you won't be supporting these then?
Not really, because these ones are just for text, of course.
No, this is the original Google Glass.
Yeah. This is
it's completely deprecated now and a complete waste of money in the long term. But they were fun at the time to play with.
But actually, is a cool object to have, like for a collectionist, let's say. So
yeah, I know. Like that's what I'm thinking. Like once we finally get into full Ready Player Run, like these hopefully may be a collectible, because like this was like the Amiga of
absolutely. AR. It's like the iPhone 1 now, I think.
Yeah.
I think now iPhone 1 is quite valuable also. So yes, yeah, please.
No,
I would say that smart glasses will be out there. We believe in 1 or 2 year maximum. And we believe that the future in that direction is that you will not have the computation on the glass. Actually, the computation will be on the mobile, and the glass will be just the way to display it.
Yeah.
Because, like for example, I was mentioning Magic Leap. Magic Leap now has also all the computation in the device, and that is very inconvenient. We cannot go around with many computers in our pockets. We already have one very powerful one. With a mobile phone.
Yeah, no, completely. So like this thing used to get red hot when using it. I used to run a production company, and we shot a music video using it. So we actually had it like wired into a power bank so that it would run all day. And we did a 24-hour video where someone filmed all day, and the thing was about to explode in heat, like because everything's done obviously on the device. I think utilizing cloud computing as well potentially could be an answer as sort of 5G and internet speeds more widespread. So you say that you see us as moving towards a metaverse. Have you kept up recently with the move to try and block Meta from owning the metaverse? Do you think that's a good move?
Yes. No, absolutely. So, if I understand correctly, you mean can you rephrase the question? Sorry, because I didn't hear well.
Yeah, I believe it was either the SEC or another regulatory body in the US is looking to block Meta from owning the metaverse, which is there.
Okay. Sorry, now I get it. Sorry, I didn't listen before. So yes, basically, I'm not really into the SEC or other governing bodies that try to regulate this, but I'm really into the fact that when we build a metaverse, we don't want to fall back to the Web 2 world.
Yeah.
So I really believe that when I say metaverse and when everybody say metaverse, we should refer to a Web 3 version of that. So a version where we don't live in walled gardens. So we can actually freely move our assets and ourselves from our identities from one metaverse to another. So this is enabled by Web3 and specifically, I believe, by NFT standard, because once I have an NFT, I can actually own it and use it in other platforms, basically. And so if we build in that direction, and I see that we are building in that direction, I see that, I mean, all of the companies that I meet from Sandbox, the Sensor around, and also other metaverses are all building in that direction. So I believe that if we need to go in that direction because we basically don't want to replicate where we're in already. And so, I mean, I don't really want to be a regulatory body to actually impose that. I mean, my dream, my vision is that basically the users and the owners of the metaverse, so I mean all the people that own the Web3 metaverse, I hope that there will be enough incentives and enough comprehension also by the broader public on what is the long-term vision to actually go in this direction where there is not one company, but there are many metaverses that are interoperable between each other.
I really view that as a strong potential future as well. What do you think of the roadblocks to get in there? There's been a lot of talk, and as I'm sure you heard at ECC, around the UX of Web3 not being good enough for mainstream adoption. What do you think we need to do to get there and encourage people that don't care about crypto to interact with blockchain-based projects?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, of course, you know, I'm always very biased when I think about user interfaces and so on, because of course, being like a Web3 native, for me, everything is easy. But actually, when I try to explain to somebody that is not here, they really don't understand. So that is a big challenge. I think that the best approach, at least this is the approach that we are taking, is actually allowing to people to use these systems without knowing nothing about blockchain, and then giving them also the opportunity to learn about it or to interact in a Web3 way. So,
yeah,
for example,
just on that point, so to cut you off, one of the things in your user experience that I actually think is fantastic is on account creation on the OVA website, you create a custodial wallet for them without them needing to even know about crypto, don't you? And then you can connect your own wallet at a later date. Like, that is the sort of user experience that you may say that because you're a native, it all seems simple, but it's those parts of the user experience that a lot of other companies and projects are missing, because you're removing the roadblock there by saying, okay, don't need to worry about wallet, like here's a wallet. And then for someone that doesn't trust, well, I don't want a custodial wallet, I want to own my own assets, you're allowing them to add that in. So I think those sort of innovations are fantastic. How did you build out your user experience?
Well, with a lot of trial and error. So basically, the first version of the app was actually out there in 2019, even if the project was actually launched in 2020. So we've been, I mean, and every 2 weeks, basically, we come out with a new version of the app. So we had a lot of trial and error, and we made also many errors, of course. But, you know, it's very difficult to, at least on our experience, to understand what is the optimal user experience, just sitting in the table and saying, okay, I will do like that, and the market will react like this. You really need to make small steps and test in production, like somebody says, this kind of user interfaces. Like, for example, what he was mentioning, this custodial wallet that we provide. We had to do that because we understood that, yes, now we allow people to buy with a credit card, but people that actually buy with a credit card probably don't know nothing about blockchain. So enabling, for example, people to buy tokens with credit card and not also providing a wallet doesn't make any sense. So there is all these things that, I mean, seems totally, I mean, easy to understand, but you know, at the beginning it's not so clear. So you really need to test the market and see what are the hurdles, what are the complexities, and of course there are also some complexities that you cannot remove, like for example, mentioning about selling tokens or NFTs, you have to KYC all the people, or even if they buy $50 of tokens and so on. And this is also another very, very big step for example, somebody that doesn't know about blockchain. Say, why should I give out my personal information to this crypto company? Yeah. And of course, this is another big barrier that probably is, I mean, unless the regulation changes, is impossible to remove. But it's a big barrier, because if you think about that, if you want to buy an asset or a digital asset from a normal game, you don't have to do the KYC. So there are some disadvantages that are difficult to overcome, but there are many others that we can work on. So user experience, yeah.
It's not every territory that you need KYC for a project like this, though, is it? So why are you taking like a blanket approach to it?
No, it's not a blanket approach. So basically, for example, every country has a different one, but most of the countries will require that. Yes, so we have the KYC provider that makes difference between the nationality you're in. But unfortunately, I would say that the biggest countries and most of the countries have this requirement.
Do you think soulbound tokens could improve this, like using soulbound tokens for KYC?
For identity? I don't know. I mean, I always want to be positive, so I say maybe in the future. But you know, the point is that here you're dealing with regulators, and so no matter how we are fast in creating very cool stuff and ideas, then we need to actually convince the regulators that this is a good solution that they can actually use, and that will take time. So for the moment, not. Hopefully in the future, yes, I would say. And also, you know, this of decentralized identity and so on is it's like a holy grail or unsolved problem in crypto. And I think once we are going to solve it, there's many other things that we can do that now we cannot perform. So, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like I think the concept of a decentralized society would be something that would align with the concept of Over. Obviously, you're creating a way to decentralize AR land ownership across the world. So, I mean, it's really, really interesting project. I'm really looking forward to going out there and finding a location that's got something built on it, so I can have a play. What if you talk about the? I may be putting you on the spot here, but you talk about the remote activities. Are there any locations that you would recommend people watching go and have a look to get sort of an idea of what could be done in the space?
Well, yes, actually, I don't have for you the list now, but if you go in the app, basically we have the most viewed experiences. So, and this list is updating every day depending on what are the experience that basically is most visited. And so over there, you can definitely find the locations that the community is liking more right now. And so that is a way, or another way, you can just go in the app and you have live experiences. And in that case are remote experiences that you can see like in inclusive environments. So for example, you have the Sistine Chapel, you have a mall, you have some monuments, a monastery in Spain. So in that case, you can have also the experience of this remote experience that is occlusive. And so it's easy to get a feeling of how this can look like.
So in terms of the sort of new features, you say there's always new updates. Is there anything that people can look out for?
Oh yes, of course. So the biggest thing that now we are rolling out is this mapping feature that I was mentioning you, that now is in alpha, but will be in beta in the next 2 months. So this is one thing. Another thing is that we just roll out our NFT clothes. So basically, people can actually create NFTs that then can be worn by our avatars. Because I didn't mention that in this metaverse, you are not a passive spectator, but you are there with your avatar. that is photorealistic avatar. We create a 3D mesh of your face from a single picture.
Cool.
And another thing that we are very excited about is that in September, we're going to come out with what we call the live events console. So right now, we can create live events where we have a performer, like a DJ, for example, that actually not only has this avatar body, but actually this avatar body is a fully body tracked, because we let the performer wear a motion tracking suit. So you will see actually his avatar moving also with all the body, dancing and whatever he does, streamed live. So now we can only do this from our office. So we can stream these events. Nobody else can do that. From September, we will release a free software to use, where people can do it at home. So they can plug in a motion tracking suit and actually create one of these events where the performer can perform in front of, right now, 200,000 people, 200,000 avatars with the whole body movement. Cool. And actually, in the next future, you will not even need a motion tracking suit, because we will use the camera of the computer to actually track your movement. But this will be in December, so it takes a little bit more. So this is two things that are coming out very fast. And the third thing we are quite excited about is that by the end of the year, we will publish what we call AI avatars. So we are working, it's already actually 12 months we are working on that. Wow. We are working on the latest NLP algorithms. The NLP stands for natural language processing. Probably you're aware that in the last 2 years, there was an explosion in this research, so GPT-3 and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Da Vinci.
And so basically, we are tapping in the open source version of these algorithms to actually create agents you can speak with. And the result is really, really compelling. And so the way we will interact with those will be by voice. So you will speak to these avatars and they will answer you, and you will be able to basically program their behavior with what we call the magic spell. That basically is a prompt where you describe how they should behave, but that is actually made in natural language. So you don't need actually to be a coder.
That's a cool use for it, yeah. Yeah.
So this is, I mean, the fast things that are coming out, and yeah, I mean, we are updating the roadmap very often, adding things. So yeah, I mean, for the moment, this is the ones that are really close to come out.
Have you have your team been able to play with the DALL-E algorithm on OpenAI yet?
Oh yeah, we are playing with that actually. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but we have a very cool idea on built-in and user-generated art gallery from that algorithm.
That's kind of something similar I was thinking, in that just the way that you say you can program the behavior. Well, you've also got the potential with that to just like create anything you want, can't you? Because you can say to it, create me a photorealistic image of a cat with a dog's head and a pig's body, and it will do that. Exactly. Like, so for a metaverse world, that could be super cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, it would be super cool, like, for example, to have a gallery that is created iteratively by users that actually go there and, again, have a magic spell and create art, and you can actually visit it like an infinite gallery. So, yeah, that is something that this is, I mean, this is not really on the pipeline yet, but this is something we are
something they're tinkering about with,
Yeah, you know, we're thinking about too many things, so we try to focus and execute some. But having said that, this is a, I mean, super cool algorithm, and I mean, we are seeing more of these algorithms coming out. The only problem with that specific one that you mentioned, that the code is not fully open source. So while we can see actually amazing use cases, especially DALL-E 2 is not open source. DALL-E 1 is open source, but the US one is not yet. So, but I mean, it's a matter of months. So in the next 2 to 3 months, somebody will create an open source version of that. And this actually powerful way to create images from text will be available to everybody. So yeah, I mean, we are super excited about all the developments that we see in AI, and I mean, this will impact, I mean, our society in really many meaningful ways. I mean, both the NLP part I was mentioning, but also this creation tools that basically will give us superpowers to actually create content that before took hours and the work of many people to build.
No, definitely. Well, thank you very much for your time, Diego. I'll let you get back to the rest of your day, but we'll definitely be keeping an eye out for those updates. And yeah, I'm keen to see an AI version of myself running around the metaverse. So I'm going to go out this weekend, I think, and try and find some locations to have a play with. That's
great. Thank you very much for your time.
No worries. Cheers. Okay, guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching to the end. It really means a lot. If you're interested in watching more content like this, subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost a penny. If you could like the video, it really helps it get out there in terms of the algorithm. I know everyone says that, but it is true, unfortunately. And leave comments below about sort of what content you'd like to see next, who else you'd like us to interview. We've got a massive Rolodex of people. We're trying to find really interesting projects and getting a different angle for you guys to get some insight into the industry. You can follow us on Twitter, so at CryptoSlate, or myself, I'm at KeepABlade. And obviously the website where the majority of our content is CryptoSlate.com. So go there now. We have a membership, which is called Edge, where you can get insights, data, exclusive articles, some really great stuff. And there is some cool stuff coming up with Edge for Edge members in the not too distant future. So check it out. And until next time, have a great day.